Colorado football responds to $2.96 million Shiloh Sanders generous act that made Coach Prime proud. Shiloh Sanders' time at the Colorado Buffaloes was no smooth sail. It was undoubtedly filled with many downs, and some of them even made it into the media. For instance, last year, Athlon Sports had reported that Shiloh slapped freshman Cormani McClain after the Oregon game, and criticism was leveled against Shedeur. However, despite the time not being perennially cozy, the bond between the Buffs players had always been strong, and that shows on the field, too. Shiloh, last year, was the leader of the Headache Gang, the Buffs' defensive end group, which resisted top defenses and helped them reach 9-4 last year. Shiloh had 67 tackles last year, including 45 tackles. Both Shiloh and Cameron Silman Craig formed a steel wall in defense and together totaled 109 solo tackles. Teammate Jimmy Horn Jr. even praised the former Buff safety. "Some days you'll be running, and you can feel his presence. Shiloh will knock your head off if he catches you slipping. You gotta keep your head on a swivel when you're around him," said Jimmy Horn Jr., ahead of the Big 12's Pro Day this year. But this isn't where Shiloh's exploits end. The guy was also a leader in the locker room, and now, when he is at Tampa Bay on a $2.96 million rookie deal, he is still showing his influence in the Colorado Buffaloes locker room. In the June 10th video shared by Well Off Media, which is owned by Deion Sanders Jr., the Buffs players were seen praising Shiloh and appreciating him for his gesture. Shiloh bought Apple Watches for each one of them, showing how he cares about them, even when he is in the NFL. "Shout out Shiloh for the Apple Watches. I appreciate you. We miss you though, love," said Caleb Mathis, the Buffs' sophomore wide receiver. Defensive tackle Tofik Thomas also thanked Shiloh for the wonderful gesture. "Appreciate you, Shiloh. You already know what's going on, man. We're in the city. It's in Tampa. Man, let's go," said Tofik Thomas as he showcased his watch on the camera shining on his wrist. One of the players even remarked that this was his first Apple Watch ever, and he was grateful to Shiloh for making it happen. "What I've heard so far is this the new Apple Watch too. Appreciate you, Shiloh man. I ain't never had an Apple Watch before. I ain't really cared for one till now." Shiloh Sanders' gesture is undoubtedly heartfelt and shows just how deep the Colorado Buffaloes locker room bond goes. Moreover, after the 2024 season, the bond grew, and the Buffs locker room had players who were aligned with the goals, as even Shiloh pointed out. The team got rid of a lot of poison. Undoubtedly, Colorado had a lot of turnover in the 2024 offseason, and that was crucial in establishing the current locker room culture, where Shiloh emerged as an undisputed leader in the defense. Coach Prime, who never misses a chance to celebrate his kids' accomplishments, would undoubtedly be proud of Shiloh's generosity. Now, as Shiloh has embarked on a new chapter with Tampa Bay, he faces a different kind of challenge, one that will test his growth and ability to lead in an entirely new environment. Shiloh's performance grabbing attention in Tampa Bay? Shiloh Sanders, who was initially expected to be a later-round pick in the NFL draft, went undrafted. However, his fortunes turned, and he was drafted in as a free agent by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers after reportedly changing his agent from his father, as he jokingly also said in a recent live stream. But chances for an undrafted rookie come slim in the NFL, and that's why the safety is making the most of every chance. To have a guy like that I could just go talk to whenever and learn football, and he also helped me get this opportunity. And I just want to make everybody proud, especially Coach Bowles, Shiloh said about Coach Bowles and signaled about his persistent hard work he puts in training and trying to impress him. And guess what? Shiloh is onto something here. The rookie looks determined and still has a lot to learn from players like Christian Izien and Antoine Winfield Jr., but his relationship with head coach Bowles might be grabbing attention earlier than expected. The former Buffs safety caught the attention of the head coach in Tampa Bay's rookie minicamp, and he even praised Shiloh's footwork and work ethic, declaring, "Maybe the most impressive for a rookie." Safe to say, Shiloh is off to a promising start in Tampa Bay. Now, it's only a matter of time to see if he can solidify his spot on the roster and make a lasting impact. Warren Sapp sends forward cryptic message for Shedeur Sanders after Brown's depth chart update. It's been one twist after another in Shedeur Sanders' journey from Boulder to the big leagues. Once projected as a possible #1 overall pick heading into the 2024 college season, Shedeur's stock crumbled under the weight of media noise, draft doubts, and a few poorly timed setbacks. And just like that, a painful slide to the 5th round of the NFL draft. When the Cleveland Browns finally selected him at number 144 overall, the moment felt more frustrating than fulfilling. Despite being drafted into a loaded Cleveland quarterback room, Shedeur Sanders' presence at rookie camp made waves. ESPN Cleveland's Aaron Goldhammer was among the first to spot the spark. "I have come to a realization, oh boy, by the time we get to September. I think there's a way Shedeur Sanders starts the first game," he said. Goldhammer doubled down on his praise after observing practices. "Now that I've seen some videos and talked to a bunch of people in multiple practices, I think Shedeur Sanders was the best quarterback out there yesterday." The potential and hype around Shedeur are undeniable. So, when a Colorado Buff staffer is interviewed, questions about Shedeur are bound to come up. Enter Buffs pass rush coordinator Warren Sapp. During the June 6th episode of the 97.1 The Fan podcast, Sapp was asked a direct question loaded with expectations. What can Browns fans expect from Shedeur Sanders? "Here in Ohio, there's going to be a lot of focus on Shedeur Sanders," the host said. Sapp, known for his no-nonsense takes, replied, "I'm not able to do his case for him. He'll do it himself." The host pressed again. "Do you think obviously he's got the goods right to figure this out in time?" Once again, Sapp stayed firm. "Just like I told you, Shedeur will do everything he needs to do to show y'all what kind of player he is." At first glance, the words may come off as distant or neutral, but knowing Sapp, who's worked closely with Shedeur during his time at Colorado, it's clear the message was meant as positive affirmation. Sapp wasn't dismissing Shedeur's chances. He was reinforcing confidence in Shedeur's ability to prove himself without anyone needing to vouch for him. Sapp's tone was clear. Shedeur doesn't need a cheerleader. He just needs the opportunity. And the numbers back that up. Shedeur threw for 4,134 yards with 37 touchdowns and 10 interceptions last season. His NFL passer rating was a stellar 117.0, and his college passer rating stood at 165.9. He's also one of only 2 D1 quarterbacks ever to throw for 14,000 plus yards and complete 70% of his career passes. Add to that an NCAA Division I record of 49 straight games with a touchdown pass, and you start to understand Sapp's faith. Back during draft days, Shedeur Sanders' interviews at the NFL Combine shifted how many saw him, with his confidence sometimes labeled brash and arrogant. Even one wrong comment could impact his pro career. That's when Warren Sapp strongly defended him, especially when an anonymous NFL quarterback coach criticized Shedeur. "I've been working for the last 48 hours to get his name," Sapp said. "If I get his name, we're going to do a deep dive into his life." So, for Sapp to now step back and say he'll do it himself isn't a dismissal, it's a quiet nod. Now, the biggest roadblock in Shedeur's NFL path? Cleveland's crowded quarterback room. As things stand, Shedeur isn't just battling for a spot, he's starting at the bottom. Shedeur Sanders' shaky fate gets a push. At OTAs, Sanders didn't receive any first-team reps, according to ESPN's Daniel Oyefusi. Veterans Joe Flacco and Kenny Pickett currently headline the depth chart, while third-round pick Dylan Gabriel was selected 2 rounds before Sanders and is already slotted ahead. That puts Shedeur as the 4th-string quarterback. For someone who was once a Heisman hopeful, it's a humbling reality, but don't let the depth chart fool you. Sanders is making his presence felt. He reportedly went 9 of 14 in team drills with 3 touchdowns and just 1 interception. Joe Reedy of the Associated Press called one strike to Caden Davis the best throw of the day. Even offensive coordinator Tommy Rees took notice. He's really put in a lot of work, as all those guys are. You can tell on the mental side, learning the system, calling it, getting into rhythm. He's put a lot of time and effort into that. When you do that, the game slows down and you can focus on completions. He's done a nice job of that as camps progressed. For most 5th-round picks, OTA stat tracking wouldn't even make headlines. But Shedeur Sanders is no ordinary 5th-rounder. Between his pedigree, profile, and polarizing draft day fall, every move he makes is magnified. He's already shown flashes. His arm, mobility, and timing are promising. The Browns aren't rushing him into action, but his reputation, work ethic, and confidence will keep him in the mix. Shedeur might be listed 4th, but no other QB at that spot gets more attention. He has the talent to figure things out when the time comes. And he'll do it himself.